All right, guys, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about what I think is Jose Aldo's retirement. He announced his retirement, so you know what that means. He's most likely retired. But anyway, his career should be celebrated. That's why I'd like to see him have a retirement fight. So the UFC and everybody could celebrate his retirement instead of bowing out after what was an abysmal performance by Jose Aldo standards against Merab Dvalishvili, and not a good fight for him. You know, maybe not even a good matchup at all for him. Even if he won that fight, it wouldn't have looked pretty. It's a tough, shitty fight. I think Jose Aldo deserves better than that as a goodbye or whatever the fuck you call it. But he will no longer get to the title. So I understand his decision to retire. The path to the title and more greatness, the legacy, which he's already got a great legacy, but adding to the legacy, that's all I ever heard him talk about as far as motivation goes. And I think now that that's out the window, he's like, fuck it, I'll retire. And he's got other things going. I know he's got restaurants and whatever. You know, he's set for life. I think he is. I don't fucking know. But either way, I think, again, the path to the title is not there, so he may as well retire in that sense. But I don't like the way he went out. I know he doesn't like the way he went out. And I don't think it's like he fought that way because he was compromised. He had doubts of his chin or whatever. You know, his last few fights were against Pedro Munoz and Chito Vera and whoever else. I think it was the stylistic matchup. Merab Dvalishvili just brought the worst out of Jose Aldo. And, you know, and that is maybe he showed signs of being older and less, whatever, agile and energetic and weaker overall. Showed signs of age in the Merab fight against a frenetic wrestler instead of strikers. But that's my point is, I think Jose Aldo, of course he's got more to give. It's not like he was knocked dead in that fight against Merab, and it's not even like it was that lopsided. I just thought Aldo didn't really fight at all for the victory. But before that, and not long ago at all from now, he was taking out guys like Chito Vera, Pedro Munoz, and whoever the fuck else. And he's absolutely still one of the best bantamweights or whatever weight he fights at in the world. And again, even though it may not be worth it because it's not like you just take a fight, show up Saturday. He's got to give months of his life, if not weeks of his life, to a training camp. And for a high-profile fight, which might be 5 rounds, which I'm speculating here, he would have to train longer and whatever. But I still think he should go out being celebrated. And the perfect fight for him to go out on is the fight he should have had a month or two ago, whatever the Merab fight was. And that's Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz took the fight against Chito Vera. Jose Aldo took on Merab Dvalishvili. And those guys now, you know, they stepped over them. Those are the title contenders. Either one of those guys could be fighting for a title. I don't know the rankings or whatever, but they're there. And Jose Aldo and Dominic Cruz is a fight that could have happened for years. Not that it was really, you know, dreamed of like it was with Pettis and Aldo way back, which I think was even booked. But UFC 163, it was booked. But Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz is still a fight between two legends. It's a fight, if they insisted on it, if they wanted to go 5 rounds, which I would think they both would, it could headline a fight night event. And it's a fight that could celebrate one, if not both fighters. I don't know where Dominic Cruz is at because, again, his path to the title has been, derailed. He's been derailed there. And he's still probably looking for the title, but I don't know where he's at. He's only getting older, and he's a guy with that style, which is looking less effective with each fight here. So I think I don't know where he's at or whatever, but I still think he's fighting. He didn't announce his retirement. And for him going forward or whatever, even if he's fighting a retirement Aldo, a guy who's already announced his retirement at this point, and if he takes the fight, would be retiring afterwards, I still think a win over Aldo does a lot for him. Not only is it a great name for the resume, but it moves him forward in the division. And, I just think it's a perfect fight. But again, it's up to Jose Aldo. If this is really how he wants to go out, which, he's always been a quiet guy, whatever, not to looking for the attention. So it's fitting with his personality and his history. But I still think he should be celebrated. He will be in the Hall of Fame if he's not already. I think maybe his fight with Chad Mendes is the second one, and if that's not, it should be in. His career is still going to be celebrated, but for him to go out like that, like a lamb against Merab Dvalishvili, and then sending a retirement via whatever the fuck, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, I don't know. I think it's not good. It's not the optimal. It's actually, the worst case scenario. Minimal, whatever the fuck the word is. So I'd like to see more from Jose Aldo. It's not necessary, to each his own. It's not like he's got nothing going on. Again, he's got restaurants and whatever. He's got a life, and I'm assuming he's set. But regardless, as a fighter, I know he's got more to give if he wanted to. And I know that was not the way he wanted to go out. Now, that's not the way anybody wanted him to go out. And against Dominic Cruz, I don't see, he could get knocked out. Dominic Cruz is fucking awesome, but Dominic Cruz is not a knockout puncher. I don't think, I'm assuming it'll be a war. It'll be very taxing on him. It's not something you want to go through, especially if you already have 2 feet out the door, I guess, at this point. But it's a fight that's enticing to the fans. It's absolutely a fight he could win. I see very close odds, even with Aldo announcing his retirement. And it would just be the perfect way to go out. Win or lose, a fight like that. It's really, I feel like if the UFC knew he was going out, maybe they would have done something differently. But whatever. I can only hope that he reconsiders it like everybody else does, and takes this fight or takes a fight like that. Because, again, his career should be celebrated. It should be where he's the main event and the UFC is showing packages of Jose Aldo. And I'm not talking about a pay-per-view. I'm talking about a fight night event. But showing packages of, here he is. Look at his war with Chad Mendes. Look at him taking out fucking Chad Mendes. Look at him taking out whatever. And instead, we got this, where you'll get a mention, of course, on the next UFC broadcast. But it's not enough, in my opinion. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. And I'll see you soon.